How you doing, guys? Malik over at Modern Pawn. Today we're going to be talking about the Scar Heavy, or the Scar 17. It's chambered for your NATO 7.62x51 good old American 308 cartridge. This is a piston-operated gun. The military does have a select fire version of this gun. Of course, us as civilians have to deal with the semi-automatic version of the same gun. What you got here, we'll go over some of the quick features. You have a flip-up rear sight that is calibrated from a 200-yard zero and elevation adjustment all the way out to 600 yards. And I'm sure it's probably calibrated for your standard 7.62x51 NATO ammunition. Runs a large and a small peep aperture for the rear. You can flip it from one to the other. It's a nice mid-size for the large aperture and a pretty small aperture for the small peep. The front sight on this guy is built into the gas block. It has a locking downward position. There is a small pin on the side that you would pull up to flip the front sight up, and then it does lock that into the front position. The front sight is hooded, which is good, protect your pin, but it is also opened at the top with a cutout so that there is some light shining on the front sight, so it's just not. Small gripe that I have about the Scar is that it does not have a removable front sight. The front sight is fixed to the weapon. If you decided you wanted to change the front sight, it looks like kind of a pain in the butt to get this thing off. This is the registered receiver. The upper receiver is your registered receiver, not your lower. The lower on the Scar Heavy is a polymer lower. The upper receiver has ambidextrous eyelets in the front and eyelets in the rear for running slings. One of the really cool features about the Scar 17S, guys, is the stock. The stock runs a side folding. It does lock over to the side via this little black latch right here. The side folding feature of this gun allows the gun to be fired even in a folded position. A lot of weapon systems will not fire in a folded position. This gun is totally operable in a folded position. Charging, mag release, bolt release, safety, the whole 9 yards. Completely operable from a folded position. Once extended, the stock has an adjustable cheek weld, which is unique. You don't see a lot of battle rifles, so to speak, that have an adjustable cheek weld. So this comes up and down in case you're running some kind of optic that is not optimal for the sight plane. If it's running a little higher than what you need, you can adjust this to get a better cheek weld on the gun. It is also collapsible. The Scar stock runs a 6-position collapsible stock. The lower receiver is pretty straightforward. A mag release on both the right and the left side. It has a bolt release on the left side only, and it has your safety selector on both left and right side. 308 runs a 7.62x51 chamber, NATO style chamber with a 1 in 12 twist. These are chrome lined, they're very good quality. They're running the PWS muzzle brake compensator on the front, which is extremely effective. We'll throw in some live fire shots to show you how good this particular flash hider muzzle brake works. It's a very, very good system. The rifle also runs a quad rail style fore-end. This has 2 polymer pieces of Picatinny rail on the left and right side. They are removable via some Torx head wrenches. The undersided piece of rail is aluminum. The other nice thing about this rifle is it is a quick change barrel system. You unbolt it right here, the barrel slides right out, slide the new one in, re-torque these back down, and you have a quick change barrel system. Supposedly they'll be coming out with some other calibers. The rumor has it that there will be a 13-inch SBR barrel for the 7.62x51 available. A little different than your AR-15, but similar. Instead of a rear takedown pin, we have a front takedown pin right here. We push this guy out, that comes over. What you're going to do from this point is slide the lower receiver up or towards the muzzle. That's your lower receiver right there. Pretty straightforward. from this point right here, the rear stock can now slide out of position. That just slides down and off, comes right off. Now the upper receiver has this little rubber rectangular piece right here that's quasi captured by a little piece of plate right there. All you got to do is just kind of jiggle it, it comes right out. There's your operating spring. Once you have it in that position, the bolt is free to slide back and forth. If you slide the bolt all the way to the rear, your charging handle slides right out. Once you slide your charging handle out, this is your bolt carrier piston bolt head assembly. By the way, guys, this is a chunky, heavy-duty piece of steel. This is not some little pencil-thin operating rod. That is a hunk of metal. I mean, I think once you're done using this, if you needed to in the field, you could flip that around and use this thing as a hammer. I mean, this thing's stout. Firing pin, retaining pin, right here, that you probably have to push on it with something to pop that out. It's O-ringed in place, I don't think for anything but retention. You pop that little pin out right there. The firing pin should slide out the back, which it does. You have your firing pin comes out from the back. And then this right here is probably analogous to the M16 cam pin. That comes out. Then from there, the bolt assembly slides right out. On these guys, there is a small C-clamp. I don't know if you can see that guy right there. It's pretty little. There's a small C-clamp that keeps the extractor pinned in place. So this is unidirectional. You cannot get the cam pin in from this side. So when you go to put this back in place, this is only going to let you reassemble it in one way. This cam pin slot needs to be in line with the bolt assembly so that the firing pin will mate up to the rear hole. That goes back in place. Firing pin is now flush to the front. This goes back in. From here, this slides back in from the rear of the upper receiver. Once we get it there, there's a kind of a square hole right here for our charging handle to go back in. While we're at this step, guys, let's talk about the charging handle. The charging handle on the Scar can be run on either the right-hand side or the left-hand side of the rifle. When you're assembling the rifle, you can choose to have it on the right hand or the ejection side, or you can have it on what we call a weak hand side. Some guys prefer to run it on the weak hand side. Some guys prefer to run it in a more traditional AK strong hand side. It's up to you. You can run it either way. If you're right-handed, you can run it on either side. I personally do not prefer the charging handle to be run on the weak hand side, and I will show you once we get this assembled why I don't prefer it. So we get this guy back in here, that comes forward. The spring lines up in a hole back here and matches up with this plate. That goes flush. The stock then slides in place. The lower receiver cams in from the back. We're going to push that back towards the stock. That's going to pin back in place, and the rifle is reassembled. So we have this black rifle is set up on the right strong hand side. This one's going to be set up on the left or the weak hand side. For me, I'm a right hand shooter. If I was shooting this rifle in this position, this charging handle is reciprocating. It is not like an AR-15 where you pull it on the back and then it stays in place and it doesn't go anywhere. This charging handle reciprocates with every shot that you fire. So as I go click bang, that's coming back and forth every time. It's fixed, it's rigid, and I'm sure there's a whole lot of power coming behind it in recoil because we are shooting 7.62 by 51. So if I was to say get a bad grip on the gun, like a magwell grip like this, well, all of a sudden my thumb is now in the line of fire. This is coming back and it's going to probably not feel real good. So the FN manual tells you if you are going to run the charging handle on this side right here, you make sure you keep this type of grip. Well, that's good. That's good for writing in a manual, but sometimes working around barricades, working around hard corners, we can't keep this kind of position at all times. We sometimes have to get in awkward positions in order to make the shot work. So if you're running the charging handle in this position right here, not a big deal. For me, in this position, it's pretty hard for me to get my hand in the way of this charging handle, because if my hand's in the way of the charging handle, it's probably in the way of the ejection port, which in the case of a malfunction, I do have to take my strong hand off of the grip to work the charging handle, or we can do like the AK guys do, roll the rifle and rack from over the top. Now, you might say, okay, well, what if you have an optic on top? Well, what if you have an optic on top? You can roll your hand underneath and work the charging handle this way. So there's a bunch of different ways to skin this cat, guys. Let's go over real quick what comes in the box. Okay, guys, when you get your brand new shiny Scar 17 home, it comes in this wonderfully constructed cardboard box. You open it up, and inside there's yet more cardboard. In the white cardboard box on the side, what do you get? A manual, a cable lock, and a magazine. You do get a 20 round Scar magazine with a plastic leveling base pad on there. Scar 17S, guys, 308 heavy duty battle grade rifle. If you're looking for this kind of hardware, check us out at our website, modernpawnandguns.com. Like us on Facebook at Modern Pawn and Guns. And again, thanks for watching.